Good day. In this video, we'll be talking about how to cut a male kaftan top, and this is the measurement we'll be using. As we can see, so the length measurements, the bust measurements, shoulder measurements, the sleeves, the neck, and everything is here. So follow me as we commence. First and foremost, you need to understand the fact that for everybody we have a different body size measurement. So after taking your measurement, your body measurement, which is 48, you divide it by 4. That means 48 divided by 4. So that gives us 12. So that 12, you had 1.5 inseam allowance. This 1.5 is the allowance we are going to add inside for sewing. So my fabric is being folded into 2 this way. So therefore, I'm cutting the front panel. So for the front panel, you measure the length. So for the length, I'm having length 35. So for the front panel, I'm going to add 1 inch. Normally, I add half inch to it, but at times because of some materials, so let's just add 1 inch to it to be on the safe side. So the length is 35 inches plus 1 inch, that's 36. I'll be using 36 length for the front panel alone. So go with me. So don't forget that after dividing our bust measurements, we have 12. So plus the 1.5 inseam allowance. So that means we'll be having 13.5 as our measurement. So from this folded edge, these edges will be cut out. So I'm starting from here. So from here to here, I'll be having 13.5. So this is the 13.5 measurements. We measure it straight down, 13.5. I'm having 13.5 here. So let's rule our straight line from this edge. So from here, we'll be measuring our front measurement length. Don't forget, the real length is 35 plus 1 inch, so that's 36. So you will measure 36. Straight line. So from here, we cut it out. Don't forget, these edges is not added to it, so we are cutting it out. So this edge as well, you are cutting it out. So for clarification sake, I have to label it front panel. So now let's cut the back panel. So for the back panel, our back panel is equals to our front length measurement plus 4 inches. And don't forget, our real length is 35. For the front, we added 1 inch to it. That makes it 36. So for us to get the length for the back panel, it will be 36 plus 4 inches. That gives us 40. So the length we'll be using for the back panel is 40. Why are we adding 4 inches to the back? We are adding 4 inches to the back because we want the shoulder to fall. So therefore, the back panel will always be longer than the front panel, so that we can have our slanting and falling shoulder, so the dress can stand well on the client's or customer's body. That's why we are adding these 4 inches to it. So these 4 inches we are adding to it also covers for the allowance, folding allowance. That's 2 inches. After joining everything, you'll be left with 2 inches. So now let's cut it out. Don't forget, we'll be folding this into 2 inches, 2 places as well, which is 13.5. So 13.5 by wideness, that's after dividing our bust measurement by 4 plus 1.5 inseam allowance. So therefore, we'll be having 13.5 wideness and the length will be 40 inches. For clarification's sake, I repeat, our back panel measurement will be front length plus 4 inches. This 4 inches is for slanting and dropping of the shoulder. It also accommodates for the inseam bending of the hemming bending, the hem bending of the dress at the down part. So that's why we added these 4 inches to it. So therefore, our length, front length panel measurement is 36. So plus this 4, that makes it 40 inches. So for this, we are measuring 13.5 as the wideness. 13.5. So 13.5 as well. Let's measure the length. Our length will be 40. So from this edge, we're measuring 40 inches. So from here, the wideness 13.5. So connect those lines so we can have a perfect straight line. Then we cut out. all these edges as well. So after cutting it out, place the front panel on the back panel. This is the back panel, while this is the front panel. So you have to pay attention to this side. So bring it, both the front and back panel, bring it together like this. Don't forget, the back will be longer than the front, so don't mind at this point. So just make sure this edge align. So from this place, you measure 3.5 downward. The 3.5 downward we are measuring is for the slant, for us to locate the slant of the shoulder. So 3.5. So from this 3.5, you take your ruler to slant it to the folded edge. Don't forget, I'm placing both the front and the back together. So just through your straight line. So after that, you cut it together. The reason why we are cutting it is for us to have a slant shoulder. As we all know, all human has a slanted shoulder, so that our clothes can be balanced. So after cutting it, then for the front, you shift it back downward, so that the front measurements and the back measurements will be aligned. Take it downward. So the remaining space we are having will be at the top. From here, you can see we are having 4 inches left. 4 inches is left. So that 4 inch is the one we added initially. So from there, you fold it. So while folding, you will let your the back measurement, or the back panel, be longer. Let it cover this front with ½ inch, or to be on the safe side, you can just measure ½ inch. Half inch, ½ inch. So why bending, mind you, both of them will be aligned at the center. So while bending, make sure this edge meets on the ½ inch measurements we marked, just like this. The ½ inch we added is for the sewing allowance. So when we are to join the shoulder, we'll be sewing it with ½ inch. That's why we are bending it all over themselves with ½ inch, so we can know the actual measurement that is remaining. If you have your iron with you, you can use the iron to press it down at this edge. So after folding it, for it to be on the safe side, let's measure our length. So from this edge, you measure it down. As you can see, we're having 37 and our normal length is 35. So the 2 inches left is the one we are going to fold. We are going to use to fold the hemming. Do you now understand the advantage of the 4 inches we added to the back panel? So after sewing, after joining the shoulder, everything automatically, you just know that you are left with 2 inches to bend it down. At times, there are some styles that will warrant you to fold more than 2 inches or more than 3 inches inward. So you have to consider that in your calculation. How do you consider it? Let's assume your normal net is 35 and you planned to fold at least 4 inches inward. If you have to fold 4 inches inward, just add 2 inches to your normal length, so make it 37. So after making it 37, just follow the normal procedures I've explained earlier. Then you will achieve the amount of the amount of inch you want to fold inward. I think that is clear. So from here, this edge you have to cut it. Just cut it out so we can have a straight line. Mind you, you are not cutting, you are only cutting this, not the main fabric. Please, this is the excess you are cutting. So while cutting it out, be careful not to cut this and this, just this alone. So now let's work on the shoulder measurement. Our shoulder is 22. So for the shoulder, you are going to divide it by 2. So 22 divided by 2 will give us 11. So 11, our allowance for sewing allowance is half inch. So therefore we are having 11.5. So look at this edge. You are placing your tape rule like this. Just follow that slant, 11.5. Don't forget our measurement is 11 plus half inch. So that makes it 11.5. So the 11.5, mark the 11.5. So after slanting it, just take your tape rule straight like this. You are left. So now we are to get our shoulder measurement. Our shoulder is 22. So 22 divided by 2 will give us 11. So 11 plus half inch. The half inch is for our sewing allowance, which is 11.5. So from this edge, you measure 11.5. Slantly, you follow the slant of the clothes, 11.5. So that 11.5, don't forget it is slant. So now straight your tape rule. Anything it gives you 11 2/4. Is that 11 2/4, you will channel down, bring it downward there, 11 2/4. Mark the point. So for us to get our armhole length, we have different methods, but the methods I've been using that has been working for me is my shoulder measurement. So anything I get after dividing my shoulder measurement, for this it is 22 divided by 2 gives us 11. So that 11, I'm going to minus 1.5 or 2. Now I'll be minusing 1.5 if I just want it just normal, not too fitted, not too loose. That's why I'm adding 1.5. But if I want fitted, so I'll be minusing 2 from the shoulder measurement. But in this case, the person is kind of fat, so I don't want fitted for him. It's just something a bit loose, not too loose. So that's why I'll be minusing 1.5 from the shoulder measurement. So the shoulder measurement divided by 2 gives us 11. So 11 minus 1.5 will gives us 9.5. So from here I'm going to measure my 9.5. So this is the 9.5. So the 11 2/4 and this, you connect them together to have a straight line. So after doing that 9.5, which is 9.5, you get the center. You get the center of this point, from this point to this point. So what's the center? Just divide it, your tape rule, into 2 like this. So this is the center. So from the center, measure half inch inward. The reason why we are measuring half inch inward, we are only cutting that away from the front alone, so that we can have a perfect fitting on the front aspect. So from here you take your hammer cuff. You can use it, you can use your free hand, you can use your hammer cuff, but I can advise you to have hammer cuff so you can have a perfect shape for those that are still learning. So from here, bring it down this way, place your hammer cuff like this. Don't forget, this is the half inch. Make sure you target this. So from here to here. So this gives us our hammer cuff. Then when you measure it from here, it gives us 11.5, which is 23. Take note of this measurement, 11.5. That is, from here you measure it round, because this measurement is actually important. So let's take note of it. So pay attention to how I cut this. So from here, cut this one alone. So cut this way from here. So after cutting, that's we are cutting the back panel. So from this aspect, you are not cutting the back now. We are focusing on the front panel alone in this aspect. So take your scissors and follow the shocked line. Mind you, don't do mistake to cut the back while cutting. We are only cutting the front. Now we have to cut the back. So while cutting the back, we are going to make sure that half inch is the back is half inch greater than the front. I will explain that later why we are doing such. So from here, cut it straight. We are having half inch. So from here, it will be equal. So why join? So in your cutting, as you can see, your front and your back cutting are not the same. So now we want to cut the neck measurement. So for the neck measurement, while measuring my clients, I measure the round neck measurement so that I can have fitted dress. You see that some people, after wearing their dress, their underwear still shows that the neck is not appropriate like that. And some people still have issue that after wearing their top, to close their press button will be difficult due to the fact that the designer does not put the neck into consideration. So for us to have a perfect fitting, I measure the neck measurement as well. So for our neck measurement, it is 19. The neck measurement is 19. So 19 divided by 2 gives us 9.5. That's 19 divided by 2 gives us 9.5. So for this wideness, I'll be having 2.5. So the coming down, let me take it with 5. So Cut it this way. But before cutting, you have to pay attention to the measurement before cutting. So from here, measure what you've drawn. As you can see, it's not up to 9.5, so I can easily increase it. So you measure again. So with this, I'm having 9. Sorry. I'm having 9 and 2/4. So let's cut out. Mind you, for this particular neck I'm cutting, I'll be having piping all through. I'll be piping the neck all through. So for neck that you won't be piping, there is different methods to that as well. It's still the same procedure, but just little changes. So from this, let's cut out. So with this, for the back, don't forget this line, just open it. So just come downward by 1 inch. So you cut it out to meet that point. You understand it now? So now let's measure our neck measurements. From this point, as you can see, we have our exact measurements. So with this, as you can see, we have a perfect neck measurement, the exact measurement of the customer. So when the person wear it, there won't be any sign of singlet coming out, or the person is unable to button up due to tightness. This will give us the accurate measurement of the client. So for us to get our sleeve measurement, now we're about to cut the sleeve. So you have to fold your dress, the clothes rather. Now we have two methods in folding this. First of all, using the round sleeve measurement. The round sleeve measurement is 18, so divide it by 2. It will give us 9 plus 1.5 inch seam allowance. Now 1.5 inch seam allowance is still the same thing we added to the body. If we had 2 inches, that means you added 2 inches. Any allowance you add to the body, the same allowance you are going to add to the sleeve. So in this case, we added 1.5 allowance in seam. So therefore 18 divided by 2 will give us 9 plus the 1.5 in seam allowance, that is 10.5. So we are going to fold it by 10.5. But at times there are some situations whereby some people don't measure the round sleeve and they need to get something perfect. So the other method I employ, and that's why this method is very important, is don't forget in the dress, on the dress we measure the armhole, which gives us 11.5 inch. So this 11.5 inch, so once I just measure it, what I do is I just minus 1 from it. So one, anything you get from your hammer, just minus 1 from it. That will give you the round sleeve. So in this case now, 11.5 minus 1, that gives me 10.5. So I'm going to fold it with 10.5. You see that it's still the same thing with my normal round sleeve measurement, the one I measured. So that's the two methods you can use in folding your dress. So for this, we have to cut. Don't forget 11.5 is the armhole. So let's get started. Just with your straight line. Sorry. So from this straight line at this side, measure 5 inches downward. So this 5 inches is the depth of our cuff. So just bring it down. Then can you see? So the 11.5 we measured on the armhole, we are going to trace it down here as well. So 11.5, this is 12. So therefore I can bring it down now. Just measure your 11.5. 11.5. So by so doing, as it is, once you cut this, the exact measurement on the armhole, when you are to fit it on your dress, you don't need to trim anything, just fit it directly. That's why we are measuring it. Then remember, on the dress, I did something here. The front armhole is shorter compared to the back armhole, so we are going to complement for this on the sleeve. And don't forget, I said the reason behind this is for us to have a perfect fitting on the chest area. So our seam allowance 1.5, sorry, 1.5. So before then, let's cut it out so you can understand better. So after cutting it out, after deducting your 1.5, so from that 1.5 you go in by half inch. Don't forget, we go in by half inch on the armhole as well. So just do it like this. Normally I don't measure it, but for teaching sake, come downward like this. Bring it, check your measurement on the sleeve, on the armhole rather. So from here, that's 2. That is from 2 downward. That is where the allowance started from. So you also measure 2 from here. So this is your 2. So from here, so now you want to cut. Don't forget, this is folded into 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. So you are only taking 2. It will remain 2. 1, 2. So don't cut both the 4 of them at the same time. You are only taking 2. 1, 2. So you cut it out. That same shape, So this is the center. So as you can see, while fixing the sleeve on the body, this short part, the one we cut on the sleeve, is going to be in the back position, while this longer part on the sleeve is going to be on the front position. So this half inch that we shot on the body for the front, this half inch is going to complement for it. So that's the idea behind it. So everything we are doing still gives us the accurate thing. As you can see, anything we remove on the armhole, we are still complementing it back on the sleeve, so it will give us our normal measurement. So by so doing, this sleeve is a 3/4 sleeve, that is a sleeve, not short sleeve, not long sleeve, but a 3/4 sleeve. So for the 3/4 measurement, my length is 17. Just bring half inch downward. This half inch is for sewing allowance. So 17 plus your hemming allowance, 3 inches. Depending on your discretion, I can use more than 3, I can use less than 3. It all depends on you and the style you are working with. So for this place, the sleeve mouth or the sleeve opening is 16. So 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. So this is the 8 plus 1.5 inseam allowance. If you should notice, you will observe I'm adding 1.5 because I added 1.5 to the body. So if I should add 2 inches to the body, definitely everything I'm doing on the sleeve as well will be 2 inches allowance. So from there, the reason why I'm slanting it this way is because whenever we fold it back, when we're about folding it, it will complement for it. You will understand the reason behind it now after cutting. As you can see, this is our normal length. I've launched it. So the reason for this slanting is whenever we fold, as you can see, so that we have space. If I should cut it straight, this is how it's going to look like. So, and we want something firm. So after folding like this, you can actually cut it. So with this, you are good to go. Then for you to be on the safe side, even without sewing, everything we do here is perfect already. You can place your sleeve and measure it. Don't forget it's been bent or folded on each other with half inch. So as you can see, it will give you the accurate measurement. So as it is, most of the time after cutting, I don't even make use of my tape rule because I know everything I do is just perfect. So from the cutting determines the outcome of your dress. So with this, I believe you are good to go. In case you have any question, you can drop it on the comment section. I will definitely attend to it. Thank you.